saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox. Greetings humanity, and welcome one and all to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice-of-life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody, and see who they are and who they're playing. We will start, again, we have a reduced cast again today, but we still have enough folks to do stuff. So we shall start, once again, with Wilde today. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm Wilde Engineer, he, they pronouns, and I am playing Shantano, an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
Excellent, excellent. And now let us head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I'm Arras or Animus. I use she, they pronouns, and today I'm playing Arosh Karuzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, and her pronouns are she, her.
Awesome, awesome. And now finally we will head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Mac the Husk, who uses they, them pronouns. He is an formerly itinerant, enthusiastic Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits. I need to fix that. Let me go fix that.
You should probably figure something. You can always pick another one if it's sort of changed.
I mean, he's not a vagrant anymore.
Of course, the funny part is everyone's itinerant right now, technically, so it's hard to.
I mean, fair.
So I mean, it's whatever side of it you want to sort of lean on.
I have a house. I'm just not at it. I have two houses, sort of.
That's true. You have at least one functional house.
I'm sure the mime is taking very good care of it while I'm away.
I'm sure they are. But like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol or hold up a card, and we'll go back and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or we'll put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that is particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. And as a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crisis. At any time, you can type !ISCW, bang ISCW, in the chat if you want to see that. And that should be looping around regularly, but let me make sure that it is, because I may have not told PhantomBot to do that. So I'm going to tell PhantomBot to do that right now, just in case. No, it's got the one for Scum and Villainy. Let me take that one off. And put command ISCW. There we go. Okay, proper content warning has been initiated. So many fiddly bits. But in any case, please remember also that we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, last time we talked to a bunch of mushrooms. That's the recap, basically. There was a summit. There was a summit. There was a fungal summit that took place, whereby there was whereby we had a thing where they were trying to figure out, okay, was everything all right with Isabel, because Isabel was down there lying amongst in this a big circle of these mushrooms with crackling purple energy, there was there was basically this sort of need to get her out of there, and then they were thinking, okay, everything's going to be all right. Isabel sort of explained that she was trying to figure out, use that area, see if she could turn that area into a fulcrum, at least temporarily, so that they could keep the house from drifting again, or rather the house, I should say, the party. The party exists in many houses-ish, sort of. Anywhere there's a party, really, they can sort of home in on it and absorb it in a way, or absorb something like it. And the dimensions kept changing because of the nature of the thing. But they wanted to, they'd been cast adrift in the places between, in the ether, and they needed to pull it back. And it landed in the house of Duchess Marleine. So they wanted to, do what they could to try to keep it bound down, keep it from drifting off again. Didn't really want to make so much of a deal with the mushrooms, because the mushrooms are decidedly nightside creatures. They announced it so. It was a thing. The thing they had to sort of figure out. But a pact of sorts, not a full pact per se, but an agreement was reached. Where they're like, okay, well, we'll provide you access if you can bring us one of the lost children of the night side, of which there are apparently a number of them in Yestervale right now. Currently operating under what they're thinking of as sort of a false leader, who some people call the Rattler. Apparently, they said, they didn't specify which people. And overachievers that our brunch enthusiasts are, they suggested, well, what if we bring back all of them? And they're like, well, then we can make more deals if you like, basically. And so this thought was made. They also realized that in order to make the necessary adjustments, in order to actually make it work, so that they can eventually make the party at least somewhat mobile again, but still stable, they're going to need access to the observatory. A place also Chantineau is wanting to go, because Chantineau was recently told by a tiny spider that is a place where if you're looking for trying to find a void demon, while they didn't recommend using the observatory to do that, you probably can. They just didn't recommend doing that altogether. They were, they're rather against void demons. They found it unusual, actually, that a true spider would ask such a thing. And, but there we are. And then I believe they came up out of the cavern, and they updated the Duchess on what's going on, and that is where we left it. So, how are we feeling? What are we doing at this point? You may note that that a couple of your companions might be fading out back into the gray for a time. What do we think's happening?
Huh. Well, I'm not even sure how we were supposed to capture one of these children of the night side. And with our resident capturer not here at the moment, I think that all we can really do is just scout Yestervale. Maybe we'll find something new to eat. I'm kind of peckish.
I mean, there's mushrooms right here.
I think we should not eat the evil mushrooms that we just made a deal with. I feel that they probably won't appreciate that.
Well, and Mac's just going to look at Roshka with pleasant surprise. Oh, that's a surprising amount of restraint.
Sometimes. Depends on the circumstances, I guess.
Well, I just feel that there was a rather surprising even measure that took here.
I mean, if we disturb the mushrooms, we don't have to pay for it. The angel does. So I guess if you really want to eat them.
Well, I don't want to take that chance because I was the one who ended up sealing the agreement.
That's true.
Not sure I like this whole idea of, suffering consequences for your own actions.
The angel kind of leans over. Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
Maybe there's some mushrooms that they're not using that we can have.
Are you suggesting we just go back and ask them for their weakest link?
They did say if we brought them extra of these lost children that we could make further deals with them. So possibly you could trade some mushrooms that you could eat.
Okay, and then there it goes.
I mean, we're supposed to help them with their thing. Who's saying that calling their weak won't help them with their thing?
Calling their weak?
They're weak.
Wow, that's. I never knew you had such a Darwinistic side to you.
No, I mean only towards food.
Oh, well.
Only towards food.
The food chain is very cyclical, I guess, like that. But anyway, we can always check out Yestervale, and hopefully the others will fade back in when things go awry.
We were supposed to be there for a reason, weren't we?
Right. We were supposed to actually investigate something in Yestervale.
I feel like there was some kind of urgent time thing, too.
I didn't think there was any sort of urgency. If there was some urgency, then, I don't think taking the train would have been the way to go.
As I recall...
Yes, that's true.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope.
As I recall, just as a... this is what Jim is remembering currently. Goodman Jonas, I don't think, specified too much of a time frame and wasn't even really clear on what the problem was. It had to do with just sort of people's behavior. It's like sort of maybe forgetting certain things. And there was just this sort of feeling that there was kind of something up. And that there was something, and it's like, felt it was a magic thing, but magic's not their thing because there are no Vizsla in that town, so I wasn't sure exactly what's going on.
Right, but they were going to give us some of that, more of that special ice that,
Yeah. The good stuff.
the good stuff.
I forget. The book from the Frog Library, was that something I had, or was I waiting for it to be delivered to a library so I could officially check it out? Yes, I know.
That's a good question. Both are good questions. But which book was it? Do you recall?
Let's see. Mysteries of the Collapsing Conundrum.
The Mystery of the Collapsing Conundrum. I think you got a hold of it.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure you actually have a copy now of The Mystery of the Collapsing Conundrum.
Was that the one that we spoke to, like, an older version of it? Or was it a different book?
No, the one that you spoke to an older version of, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, that I think was the story of the hunter.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the exact title, but that's.
It was the book that told me I kind of sort of destroyed the world previously.
Maybe. Well, was it that? Yeah,
I
like
think it was.
maybe if there were annotations in it. The story of the hunter is an old epic tale.
Yeah, it was the book that told Oroshka that they had lost their memory.
Yeah, when they were like, also you destroyed the world previously, and I was like,
oh right, no, the book told you. That's right, because it.
The book told me that.
Yeah, it's not what's in the book. It's what the book said to you.
Yeah, literally told me.
Yeah,
because it was like I asked it about it, and it was like basically like you meddled with us before, and the world was destroyed, and I was like, oops.
Who knows?
There was some implication that if I meddled with it again, I might destroy the world again.
Wait, if you meld with, what was it that they warned about?
I don't remember. I think I recall that was what.
If it was the tale of the hunter,
gist
then
of
I
that
think I know what it
conversation.
was they were talking about. I believe they might have been talking about looking beyond the edge. Or something similar. So it's hard to know. There's going to be a long period of remembering things, just so that everyone's aware as we go back and try to recall stuff. It's going to happen. It's just going to happen over a long period of time. Anyway. Yeah, but
So we're gonna go to Yestervale first, and then come back to the party to visit the observatory. Is that the plan?
I mean, and I know I need to go to the observatory. It's like, what else are we doing in the observatory?
I think we were gonna take parts to fix something.
Well, didn't they say we weren't going to be able to build the anchor
Oh,
until we fulfilled our end of the deal for this?
mushroom people?
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll go to Yestervale then. Does Isabel want to come with us, or?
Isabel's like, well, I think I can start trying to get some things ready. If you like, so I can, and she sort of is looking at you and she's like, I would kind of like to, but no, I need to start getting things ready. Because maybe if I can I'm going to try and look around, ask around and see if I can figure out where the observatory ended up. Because I haven't been able to find it yet. And since we landed here, it'll have a different configuration. I'll see if I can see if I can get a grid together, actually put together a search spell. Oh,
Last time I was there, the giant telescope told me that it was dangerous, so just maybe don't go in it alone.
I mean, why shouldn't we go into our own observatory? I mean, didn't we put that thing together in the first place? Or did we?
I think we did. But last time I was there, the telescopes whispered to me very urgently that it was dangerous and I should leave, and I got the sense that they cared a lot about me/us.
I'll see if I, well, if I find it, I'll see if I'll keep an ear out, I guess.
At this stage, sometimes it helps if you touch them
Okay.
to hear
How did you
slash
adjust to this?
feel.
This is so strange.
I don't know. It just kind of felt natural when I woke up. I'm not sure if it was like this before because I don't really remember. So I feel like I kind of skipped the getting used to it part.
I guess so. Well, figure it out. Okay. Yeah, so I'll ask around. I guess I can ask around in a couple of different ways at this point, and just sort of see if I can figure it out.
Just, be safe. Don't be in any kind of danger next time I come. Not that I didn't enjoy rescuing you, but I'd rather not have to do it again.
Thank you. She that's like her initial immediate reaction, and then she's like, she thinks for a second about what she's sort of doing, and she's like, oh, we really have to talk soon.
Yeah. Let's just, make sure that the party is
Right.
secure first.
It's a thing. They've had there's we've been having, and I was talking to Bravish about this earlier, that we're having some of us in there is because of the way that it's been sort of getting batted around the ether. I think that it's had an effect to a certain extent on some of us where it's very subtle, but it makes it a little harder to concentrate sometimes. And I think it'll be easier now that we're anchored for the, well, not anchored, but you know what I mean, landed for the moment. But we're gonna, so maybe we'll be able to start, working. But it is, well, particularly rough on, I think it's going to be probably roughest on Vance's because of because we have to, as you maybe remember, you got to concentrate a lot. So, okay. But
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if you heard about the whole thing where I kind of left the Vances, but if you don't want to be a Vance anymore, I can teach you a different way to do magic.
I have to
Maybe
think
not right
about
this
that.
second.
Yeah, I got to think about. I've got to think about that. It's all very new, and have we had this?
Well, we can
conversation
talk
before?
about it.
I could swear you said something to me about teaching me a new way to do magic. I don't know. Could be just deja vu, I suppose.
Honestly, I remember practically nothing from before I reappeared in the bookhouse, so... Maybe. But if we didn't, now we are.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We have a lot to talk about. Okay, I'll go in and see what I can do. I'll see you later. And yeah, she kind of does sort of that awkward thing where she's not sure whether to.
We're both like.
Yeah, she does this thing where. Yeah.
Backpack.
Yeah, it sort of evolves into a sort of back pat, and sort of like she's like, and she's like lingers in a little bit too long, and just like she's not sure, and so she's figuring it out, and then she will she's like, okay, I'll see you in a bit. Good luck. Be safe. And she turns around. Yeah, she will. She will head away. And in the meantime, or she starts. She heads away. She actually makes a bit of a detour because over off to the side, the Duchess is sort of standing with her arms crossed, so she goes over and talks to the Duchess for a few minutes, apparently about logistics. She seems to be being
Duchess.
kind of apologetic. She's like,
she can blame me if she wants.
and the angel will sort of look back over and look down. Okay, I'm just going to ask this. You do realize who it is you're dealing with that Duchess, right?
No.
Okay, so like I've had a few run-ins with her, a little bit from time to time. Well, run-ins, it's kind of a harsh word for it. She's not. She's kind of on the run. I'm pretty sure she's not here illegally, as far as the Pale is concerned.
I mean, I'm not sure legality has been a huge concern of any of us at any point. Ever.
Yeah, I'm painfully aware of that. But I'm just saying, I think she's had. The Duchess is. I'm fairly certain that she's gotten an agenda bigger than just getting her house back, okay? I don't know what it is.
I also have many agendas.
Great. That's great.
I turn to everybody else and be like, do you have agendas?
Mac just stares blankly. No. I don't.
I mean, are goals technically agendas, or?
I just like things you're trying to achieve. I'm trying to achieve a lot of things.
Alright. I'm just saying, and I won't talk about it too much here because, I get that she's your friend and everything, and I don't want to, alright, but there's a reason her family cut her off, okay? I am pretty sure she has something of a criminal record, so I'm just saying.
I mean...
She seems nice and a nice old lady and all, but, kind of... Just be careful.
What's the big deal about a criminal record? I mean...
Do I not have a criminal record?
I mean, you probably should have one too, but... it's not like we're all destined to be locked up in the House of the Forgotten or anything. We're not that bad.
Not yet.
He's just sort of double taking. Okay. I'm gonna go try to help find the observatory and crap and start seeing if I can figure out what we're doing as far as getting this fulcrum put in. Unless you need anything else.
If you're going to the observatory, do you mind looking for a demon while you're there?
First, I don't know where the observatory is. I'm just going to help look for it. But secondly, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Oh, do I need to repeat it? Or...
I think we're trying to hand the demon over to an enemy, maybe.
Oh, great.
I don't think it'll be good for the demon if it makes you feel any better.
Oh, no, I don't want the demon. I just want a part of the demon.
There you go. We don't even need the whole thing.
That's kind of that's almost worse. Oh, jeez. You know what? I'm not the one who does magic, so you know whatever it is, you. If I happen to spot a demon, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
I feel like, didn't this angel know who I was when we met? Does this angel not know who any of us are?
Well, there's this angel actually was not. As I recall from my, I went back and I watched it, not too long ago, and I don't think the angel actually mentioned anything about that. But they might. I don't know. We can.
I just think it's really funny that if this angel knows who I am, like warning me that somebody else is dangerous, or like knows who any of us are, warning any of us that somebody else is dangerous. Like, have you met any of us individually, let alone together as a group?
I mean, that's fair. That's very fair. As far as I recall, from this angel's perspective, they just sort of got dumped into this situation quite suddenly. They were summoned into a place that shouldn't be there, and they didn't really get.
So what you're saying is, as far as this angel is concerned, we're just a bunch of random Bisley.
Well, it's like yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't think I'm random. There's spirits out there who know me.
No, that's very much the point.
True.
I don't think we're random at all. We're a very notorious bunch of people.
At this point, probably. At this point, probably. Yeah, but yeah, the angel hasn't said specifically how much. Aside from, they kind of possibly has hinted to Mac thus far. It's like, I know you, I know what you are. The angel did say that to Mac, but
Yes.
it's not otherwise revealed.
A fascinating
any
statement.
Particular hidden knowledge.
I mean, it's not unknown. I mean, I do wear the Church of Illuminism badge.
Yeah, you've got the. You got the pin and everything, so yeah.
I think just before heading out, I'm just gonna lean over to the angel and be like, "Hey, have you ever been to the Collapsing Conundrum? What's it like there?"
I have not been to the what?
The Collapsing Conundrum.
Is that a?
It's like,
That sounds vaguely familiar.
I think it's like a mix of the end of all and the beginning of all, something like that. I don't know.
Wait a minute. That's a gold thing, isn't it?
Maybe.
No, I haven't actually. It's as far as I'm aware. I mean, that does ring a bell. I will say that sounds slightly familiar. So I think I've heard that phrase somewhere before. If you're talking about like something where they're trying to some. I don't know. It's sometimes I hear stories about some moron out there trying to mix the silver with the gold or something, like trying to do these spatial anomalies. This is why these spatial anomalies can be a problem. That's what I'm telling you.
Mix silver with the gold, you say?
Yeah, it's kind of one of the things that you hear sometimes. It's like if you try to actually make a bridge, then that's. I mean, you know, it's regular forms of, like, you know, doors and teleportation type, you know, the sort of things Vizsla can do by and large, aside from what I understand.
Right.
It's not a. It's yeah. There's this theoretical thing about some kind of I don't know, some hypothetical structure, I think, that gets that through which you do stuff like that. I don't know exactly.
Theoretically, you say.
Yeah, there was somebody who came up with, like, some kind of I don't know. I heard something about somebody coming up with a model of the soul that was, like, parallel or ran parallel to the to whatever it is you Vizsla use. I feel like okay. There's going to be a thing I'm going to mention now. I have no idea how it's going to play or what the reactions are going to be. But I will say, when he mentions this, when they mention this, when the angel mentions something about a model of the soul, Shantanu, that kind of sounds familiar.
Hmm. Do you know where I would have heard that from? Or is that something I can try and recall?
So we have we have two tiers of this. The first tier is I give you a simple answer. The second tier involves drawing a card.
Just throwing this out there. Is this something I can use? I have unused hidden knowledge. Is that something I can apply towards that?
I mean, this would be it, wouldn't it? I have to say, hidden knowledge usually is something you apply toward. If I remember correctly, it's been a while. If I remember correctly, then that's a thing you can apply to particular, a particular role, that kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to use it on this and roles come up related to it, eventually, which they might, perhaps, we could do that.
Well, I don't want to move away from the mechanics if we don't have
Well,
to.
no, it's actually I think the mechanics work with it. It's because you're about. I'll need you to tell me something. Actually, I think that'll work with what we're doing. And and it'll be fine. I don't think the system's going to explode. I think we'll be fine. If you want to do that.
Sure, let's go with it.
Monte Cook is not going to show up and shut our game down.
You say that now.
I say that now, and then he appears. Okay. The first tier of this is pre-war memory.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first tier of it. The second tier of it, if you want me to do this, I'm going to draw a card, and we're going to kind of need to interpret it together somewhat.
Let's go for it.
All right. Here we go. I love this. We haven't gotten out of the conservatory yet. It's all theoretical. I'm going to draw a card. Okay. We're starting over because we're in a new sort of idea scene thing. Okay. Da 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 da. And this is card number 46. Okay, we have drawn the Lost Star.
It's a kitty.
It is. Okay. We gaze into the night sky and we
Playing
see
with
the
a
stars.
star.
It's Kitty playing with a star. We gaze into the night sky and we see the stars shining back down on us. We wonder what they really are, but that's a secret for another time. Oh, God. Sorry. Stars represent a higher world where everything is magnified. Everything having to do with the stars is far greater than it would be in our world. Love burns brighter, gems sparkle more beautifully, and children sing more sweetly. At the same time, disasters are more calamitous, anger seethes more deeply, and armies wage wars far longer. In divination, the lost star offers good or bad fortune, determined by the card turned after it on the path. Whatever this card suggests, it is epic in scale. Something important to the person in question is a very long way away, very old, or very valuable.
Nice.
The lost star amplifies any other results determined by other cards. I'm sorry.
Interesting.
It'll be fine. We're good. This is a gray card. So that's the gray sun. That gray sun magic is up. We're currently influenced by the gray sun. And there we go. So, it had to be this one. It had to be this one. Sure it did. Of course it did. All right. Let me just check my notes real quick about something.
I mean, if anyone was going to break the game, it was going to be Shantanu.
That's true. Okay. I have a question I need to ask you now. I cannot remember. This isn't the question. But I cannot remember when it was that Shantanu began the path of the apostate path in particular, and of being able to break themselves into shards and reform as a new thing. Do you know how long ago it was? Do you know if it was before the war or after the war, that kind of deal?
I don't think we ever truly defined it.
Okay. We don't have to. But, you know, we can.
I'm willing to find it. I feel like it would be after war thing when Shantanu was feeling lost and unsure of who they were.
Okay. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. So, before the war, I have a question for you about something that happened before the war that you're starting to recollect bits of. You're not going to get the whole picture necessarily. You have pre-war memories. You've always had some pre-war memories, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we keep this card in mind, I think the and I must make sure that I'm keeping to the right thing. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. Do you recall what you were trying to achieve, or if not that, at least what led you to construct a new model of the soul?
And this is pre-war?
Yes. So, and you could have used some of that work either consciously or subconsciously after the war. But you're remembering that pre-war, this is a thing that you were working on. And it is up to you to decide what that looks like. It is up to you to decide how it was flavored. There are things you'll know that you haven't recalled about it yet that perhaps will come back as time goes on. But what do you think? What was going on there?
Okay, so pre-war, Chantineau was similar to now, only in a different state. They were feeling very unfulfilled in life. They felt like they were missing something. There would be something they should be doing, someone they should know, somewhere they should be. And for whatever reason, they just couldn't find it. They felt lost. They didn't know who to turn to, where to turn to. Everything that seemed to offer advice felt simply like platitudes. So they decided that the only way to really figure it out would be to essentially reconstruct themselves, starting with their essence.
This reconstruction that you undertook before the war allowed you to perceive things, to look beyond not only yourself, but into things about, possibly things about reality, things about the world. And again, this is a far removed version of you, so it's may not necessarily have all of these, or even, what a lot of it means at this point, but, memories. What would be an example, do you think, of a thing you saw or learned through that reforging of the self?
That there was no one path to find this fulfillment. It was almost an endless amount of possible answers. None of them right, none of them wrong.
Okay. So if we apply this, say, even... It's an interesting idea, because if we apply this... It's a thing that kind of can explains, possibly, it could be a possible explanation for why there are channels outside of... You remember what the mime did? Do you remember what the mime did and finding a more direct route to the gold? There are other channels, and these are not things that are not supposed to exist per se, but there are other channels that one can travel without going directly along the path of suns, right?
Right.
Similarly, a thing that you are remembering just sort of about your studies was that it had to do, to a certain extent, with Vizsla, from whom the name Vizsla are taken. The idea that, it's an idea that a lot of people are familiar with, a lot of Vizsla are familiar with, that a great spell was cast, forming reality, time in both directions, forming the past backwards and the future forwards, from the point when the spell was created. I don't know if any of you are familiar with what I'm talking about from like the books, but I think they're in the books somewhere. Might be in the way, possibly. Not sure, but So there is this kind of, we like to think about time as a river sometimes, or we like to think about time as, I don't know, just a line, right? And there are a lot of sort of Vizsla who are determinists in a sort of way because they think, okay, the future is mapping out forwards and the past is mapping out backwards from this central point, which possibly has come already or possibly hasn't come yet. We don't know. But the thing is that I feel as though this idea of this multitude of possibilities might, in fact, to a certain extent, fly in the face of a lot of these theories about Vizsla's great spell. It's not an entirely alternate way of doing things, but it could lead to a lot of different things, perhaps. This, I think, is a thing that you're remembering. There was something about looking up at a set of stars somewhere. You're not sure where. There was something about looking up at a set of stars and not even necessarily astrologically using them to predict things, but by seeing sort of the path they were moving along. Being able to see the possibilities that would be generated. And I'm not saying you used to be exactly precognitive per se, but sometimes, perhaps, you get the sense that sometimes there was this uncanny thing that you were able to do from time to time to figure out what was going to happen with a particular thing. If you're good with that. That doesn't bend concepts too much as far as what you're wanting to do narratively. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that you are remembering then, that are kind of, to a certain extent. Some of it perhaps you already remembered. It's up to you how much of this you're recovering now and how much of this you already just, were aware of, and or maybe are just being reminded of now. But regardless of whether it's a reminder or a memory coming back, the trigger for that was the angel talking to you about this.
Right.
I'm done rambling now. I'm sorry.
No worries. I feel like this memory is kind of it's weird. It's weird. It's strange in its duality. It both connects yet confuses with the current Chantineau. Because while that was the slight glimpse of, I guess it was a more hopeful search, while his current search is more of a longing. And I don't know if they know how to rectify the two.
Sorry, hang on, I gotta take a second. My soul's in pain right now. I remember when I had hope. But I mean fair. Yeah, very good, very good.
I feel like this little glimpse of memory would also kind of embolden Chantineau in their search. It's like, while not totally the same, they know that they're still on the same path.
So this is a thing that is recurring here, and I think you'll sort of find that. Does anyone want to do anything else with the? Does anyone want to do anything else with the angel, or do you want to let the angel just sort of go and start looking for the observatory?
Well, I'll send the angel off.
Yeah, I feel like I've traumatized this angel enough.
Everything's fine. It's all fine.
No, this angel's gonna go look and see if I have a criminal record.
Oh God, this angel's. Oh my God. See, there's the thing. Here's the thing about bureaucracy, right? You don't look crap up until you have to. By and large.
Like between Aroshka and Chantineau, we're giving off all the warning signs.
It's like the angel's not in the silver right now. It doesn't have the facilities to look you up, but if it does, man, if it does. What are we doing? So are we
Anyways,
like, yeah.
I'm gonna go to this town.
What was the time? That was Yestervale.
Yestervale. Shall we take a look at Yestervale?
Yes, let's.
Yes. Okay. So you're going to make your way through the party. You're gonna head out. You're gonna find your way to the front. It all looks different. It all looks kind of different from the way that it did. But you find the room with the fountain, which is kind of the key. You sort of recall too that's the room with the fountain in the middle. Is the one where you usually the big entrance, and you wander out and you head out onto some place. And after you get out of that place, then you will come out the front door of the house. So, I'm going to draw another card here. This is card number 32. Let me pull that up here. Card number 32. Which I need to actually activate to get it to work. Yes, that's the Ghostly Presence. It's a pale card. Let me get the pale sun going. You can barely see, apparently.
Wait, so does the star card affect this?
It does.
Or does this one affect the star card? How does that work?
So, yeah, it will. Oh, it will. It will. Let me go ahead and open up the, go and open that up here. This card, it is epic in scale, so it's going to amplify. So this card is going to be amplified because of the fact that we just had the star card. So it's going to be whatever this is, like times 10 probably. So the ghostly presence. We all have our ghosts. They haunt us metaphorically and, of course, literally. We can become weighed down by our past sins, our unrequited feelings, our unresolved issues. As humans, we crave closure, but is such a thing ever truly possible? The ghostly presence suggests that it is not. There's always something from our past that will arise later to remind us of the wrongs of long ago. In divination, something from the past, perhaps something forgotten, arises in the present. The most typical interpretation is that this ghost from the past will give the person in question trouble, but it's possible that the remainder of the past is not entirely negative.
That sounds very on topic.
Kinda does, doesn't it? Let's see, who shall I ask this question? Because it's going to affect both, it's probably going to affect both, yeah, it's going to affect a couple of things. It's going to affect a couple of things. One of which, yes. So, I think the most, I think I'm going to ask, let's see, yeah, let's ask Mac this question, I think. As you know, the party changes. There's a different outside where someone is having a party that you have to walk through to get to the door. Usually, it's been a beach before. It's been a couple of different beaches before, beach parties, but it's been also other things, other places. It's been a place in the Gold. In this case, this is kind of going to be. In this case, it's going to go through the Pale, or something like the Pale, or it would. Normally, it would. I don't know. It lost the. You know what? I'm not even going to pin it down to the Pale because you've lost the nexus, so it's not going to have as direct a connection to these other things. So it's just going to be like some kind of you're walking out of a building and over to a door, right? And so there is a place you are seeing. And it's either the place or it's something here, Mac, that you had hoped you would never see again. What do you think it is? It is not Manfred. And I also know you want to see Manfred again at some point, at least once.
Yeah, no. I know. But what he sees is office space, like rows and rows of cubicles and drab buildings. Basically, what his life looked like when he was in the gray.
So, you're in this.
Sorry, yeah, it was so cute. It sounded like a Pokemon.
You all right? Everyone all right over there?
Sometimes he just feels the need to scream at me a little bit just to make sure I remember he exists.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
He's done now, I think.
That's good. That's very good. He's adorable. Sorry, we had to take a cat break for a moment here.
Very important.
It is. It is. Cats are what fuel the internet. That's how it works. But this office space, this is an office that looks very familiar to Mac. There is one of the saddest office parties you have ever seen happening here. Where people are sitting at their cubicles and kind of sort of chatting back and forth a little bit, but they're still at their cubicles because they have to take calls or do other things. And there's like these little paper plates with a little bit of slice of cake on it. Someone possibly ordered a pizza. There's maybe a little celebratory banner, little paper banner that's up somewhere.
I'll elaborate on that.
Yes.
It is a happy birthday banner, but there's no name on it because it's the banner that they roll out arbitrarily one day a month to celebrate everybody who has a birthday in that month.
Yes. It is the arbitrary monthly birthday party.
Yes.
And so you're walking through these cubicles. You can see the door at the opposite end that looks like the front door of the Duchess's house. You just have to navigate these cubicles to make it there.
Oh God.
See someone just sort of stand up, sort of with just sort of will look with vacant eyes, and just sort of this lady with frizzy hair will just sort of turn and just sort of look at you, sort of passing through. They'll be like, "There's some cake still, I think, over there if you would like some." And she immediately, it's like she gets a call. She has to sit down and start talking.
Oh no. We don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that cake.
Cake is...
It doesn't. I bet it doesn't even sing.
It's just sitting there. Sitting there, completely motionless.
Wow.
It is...
It's a single layer, like a sheet cake.
Yeah. Just a single layer sheet cake. I think it's got like that kind of that off-white frosting that we're not quite sure. It's like the plainest cake you could possibly have.
It really is.
And it's been sitting there for a while.
Okay. We got to get through this place as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I might get dragged back to work. I remember this place. This is when I used to be a beta tester. Before I became a programmer. This is not good. This is not good at all. And he doesn't want to cause or any attention, so he's just going to actually power walk his way down because he fears that if he actually sprints, then people would really notice because everybody's vision here is like based on movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't stop in any of the cubicles.
See your fear.
Yeah.
They can sense fear. So as you're getting down through the cubicles, you're doing all right. You're doing okay.
Oh, you can't go up there.
And
No.
you see that there is a pizza box, an open pizza box that's like perched atop a couple of like sort of one of the dividers. As you're getting closer to the end, and a hand reaches up and slams the pizza box shut as a guy in a sweater, a tie and a sweater, stands up with carrying, you know, this plate with this cake on it, and just stands in your way and just sort of looks up at you all and says, "Oh, hey, do you want this? I'm not going to have it." And Arushka, you hear the cake cry out, "Help me, please! God, help me! Oh, God, help!" if you can hear. Actually, can you hear me? Okay. I noticed there was
I
a
can
slight
hear you.
fluctuation.
Oh, I lost connection for a minute, but I'm back now, I think.
I'm sorry. Everyone okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. So let me explain. Guy in a tie and sweater is standing up and is offering a stale piece of cake to you all, standing between you and the door in this narrow aisle between the cubicles. And Arushka, you hear the cake crying out, "Dear God, please help me!" this slice of slightly stale cake.
I guess I'll just grab the cake.
She starts reaching for the cake. Mac is going to accept. No, and it's like a slow motion, attempting to slap the cake out of Arushka's hands. No.
Does the cake go flying?
Yes. Cake
I'm
spirals
just gonna be
end
like,
over
well,
end.
I'm just gonna be like, well, that's one way to put it out of its misery, I
In
guess.
the air. Smacks into the banner. The back of the banner, which comes down, this banner that was strung up across. And all of the office workers look up from over their cubicles. They're looking up. They're slowly rising as all of their eyes are focusing on you.
Is this guy still in the way of the
Yeah,
door?
the guy's standing there. He's like, if you didn't want it, you just had to say so. My God.
I'm just gonna like grab him by the shoulders and like move him to one side. And like wrench the door open and just like like the hand that you make, like the like game show hostess.
Yeah.
There's a
He's
term
sort of
for
like
that,
off
but I
to the
can't
side, and
remember.
he's like, "Now see here, what? Who are you people?"
You listen here, Kevin. You don't
Just passing
block
through.
doorways. Okay, that's an OSHA violation.
Oh, shit.
And he just sort of squints as he's looking at you. What name did Mac go by in the gray?
He went by Raymond.
Yeah. So he just sort of squints. He's like, Raymond?
No. Do I look like a Raymond to you? Raymond had a wheelchair.
Sorry, my mistake. He's looking at you uncertainly, and they're all looking at you uncertainly. The door is open. You've got the door open. You've pushed him aside, and so he said, but they're all just sort of getting up slowly from their cubicles, and they're slowly approaching you because
gonna
they're not
gesture.
sure what's happening.
More aggressively at the door.
Oh, okay, we better go, because otherwise they'll get mad if we cost them any PTO. And Mac is gonna dart out the door.
And you see them sort of behind. They're sort of moving up and then dash out through the door. And you're at the front. You're on the front. You're on the front steps of the Duchess's place.
Oh. Okay.
As you're pulling the door shut behind you, you hear, "How did you know my name was Kevin?"
Looked like a Kevin.
You did look like a Kevin.
All right.
Hang on, I gotta write down Kevin in my NPC log here. Here we go.
Right, we got to get it. We got to anchor that nexus. I mean, if we have to go through any sort of randomness to get back to that endless party, it could be detrimental. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of anything that would make you relive your life in the gray.
Yeah. Arishka gets kind of a half memory that it's like it's probably without the nexus, it's probably just attaching to whatever is nearby, and so sometimes that can mean the people walking through. there can be they can shift for that. Need to. So you're outside the house. There is a train station that's a bit off of the ways. It's like a small train, end of the line type train stop. And there's a little path. There's a road that leads out. There's a carriage house out here, where the carriage that you came in went to. Let's see this little it's sort of a manor house. So you've got this sort of circular area and a little road that leads down. One branch leads over to the little train stop, and the other branch leads into the valley into Yestervale that you see before you.
Right. Well, I guess we're walking. Is it light out? Is it?
Yeah. It's
pleasant day?
fairly. It's the air is kind of dry and dusty. It's warm, but as you're coming by, you see that there's a lot of so it's kind of just sort of scrubland type territory out here, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So not a lot of vegetation, some. And the first place you're actually going to pass by is a cemetery. That's kind of on the outskirts of this town. Where you see there is there is a person being buried right now. And you see people, they're wearing black clothes. We're out there, just kind of, sort of looking sort of old-fashioned black clothes. If you think kind of like end of the 19th century type looking clothing, roughly. That sort of style, anyway. And see, they're basically there are a few tombs. There are maybe a couple of tombs, but it's mostly just tombstones and people being interred. There's they're out with their hats and their coats, and they're in the warm weather for some reason. But they're having a little sort of a service, it would seem. And so you have the cemetery, and then you can, if you wish, you can keep going down the little road into the town. It's up to you.
Wait, so there's an actual service going on? Like someone's
Little
being
one.
interred here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a few people.
Just a few people being buried, or just a few people?
Servicing
One person being buried, just a few
Okay.
people attending the burial.
I'm just trying to gauge how interested Mac would be. And the number of burials would dramatically increase the interest.
Yeah, not a huge number of burials, just a single burial at the moment.
Oh, okay. Mac is just going to pause and peer over the fencing just to take a look and see if he can make out what's going on or who it is.
Yes, it looks like, from what you can tell, it's looks like it's a man being buried. As far as you can tell, they're getting them just, you get them just as they're lowering the body, and they're closing the casket. I'm trying to think if there would be. So yeah, they probably. It's really the casket. I say casket. It's more like a pine box, really. They're lowering down in there. The folks around here, they look kind of dusty, a little bit. Yeah, they'd still be. They look a little dusty. They have. The clothes are simple, fairly simple. So it's not like expensive dress-up clothing. It is presentable clothing. So like one would wear to an occasion like this. But it's very, perhaps not expensive, shall we say. And so it looked like the person, you get the sense that whoever this was a laborer of some kind.
Oh. I guess Mac is going to look around the cemetery a little bit more, just from his spot. Are there any other graves that seem to be freshly dug?
So, yeah, you kind of are glancing around. Yes, there are a few of them. A handful of them. Most of them seem to be in the same section as this laborer. You notice on the tombstones also, if you're actually stepping off and looking in there, a lot of the titles for the different names that are put in here, some of them, not all of them have them on the tombstone, but some do. Goodman, good woman, good person seem to be the titles, the forms of address that are appearing on these tombstones.
What's on the tombstone with the person being buried? Title-wise.
Yeah, title-wise, it's Goodman.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like it's more of a generic title. It doesn't look like it's a class-related thing.
Okay. No, he was just trying to gauge whether or not they're all of the same type. Possibly if, they all work in the same place. Oh, this is... Do either of you remember how many people they said live in Yesterville?
I certainly don't.
Interesting, because it seems to me that there are a number of fresh graves. I wonder if the situation that was described to us is leading to the untimely deaths of the villagers. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that would have been interesting to everyone. I mean, I'm sure that Shaw would have something to say about it.
No problem.
Well, awkward. I guess we should just move on.
I mean, did you want to pay respects?
We could go and ask who it was, / if they knew him. And
I feel like we should, if we do that, we should probably just ask in town. I would hate to interrupt the service out here. But Mac isn't really being quiet about this, so the people who are, in the middle of this service may overhear him.
Yeah. A couple of them sort of glance up, and just sort of is sort of there and there. They're not. Yeah, they don't find it unusual that there are other people here per se. They do look at you a little bit funny because you look like you're from out of town.
Yes.
But they don't seem to be bothered by the fact that you're there per se.
All right. Well, gonna move on, but we should make note of this for later.
Yeah. So, yeah, you are. Well, I'm sorry. Are you heading on, or are you going to still?
Yeah, no, I think we'll head on.
Okay. You're going to see as you're heading into town, you can see the train tracks off to the side, to the west, I believe. This town probably looks to have. It's not a huge population, but it's somewhere in the low hundreds. Okay, let me check here. The town is situated between a large creek, or a small river, on the western side, and the Indigo Rail train tracks on the east. Okay, so here we are. As you're kind of coming in near the edge of town, one of the places you're going to see is sort of distant on the opposite side of the tracks. You can see it's a bit of a distance where there's sort of the path goes into town. There's like you can see from this as you're heading into the valley. There's a town square that the path goes into. The path will head across the creek. There's a bridge you see on the opposite side. You kind of have to go through town to get to it, you think, but that's sort of on the west. And beyond that, you can see. I mean, so you have these houses, these very quaint-looking houses. They're all one-level houses. In town itself, there's a town square. Off to the west, you're going to see that the path snakes off toward the creek. There's a bridge, and on the opposite side of the bridge is what looks like there are a few houses and probably the ice house. And and probably which is probably where Goodman Jonas would work. Goodman Jonas was doing transport of the ice, but there are wagons in town and out there also that you see that look kind of similar to the one Goodman Jonas was riding. So yeah, there are just kind of a few different things here. As you have the town, you have people. They as you're heading presumably further down into the town, you see the people seem very polite. They tip their hats. A lot of them are wearing black. Wearing black seems to be just sort of an affectation of people in this town. A lot of them also do dress very simply. Some of the ones that appear to be at work, you see, there is a decent amount of activity over by the where the ice house is as you're descending, and then you don't see it anymore because buildings block it. But you see people going back and forth. The ones who work or do raise crops, that kind of thing. Some of them who are going around without their jackets, you'll see their kind of sort of pale shirts and suspenders type deal. Whereas, but most of the people are otherwise are going to wear sort of these black coats, hats. There are the town square that you're kind of getting closer to. So you see, if you continue on this road, you will get toward the town square. So you could go there, or you could go somewhere else if you like. What would you like to do?
The ice house seems kind of interesting. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, we're looking for brunch, right?
Definitely seems relevant to our interest in this town.
Brunch is relative to your interest. Yeah, relevant to your interest.
Well,
There
I
are.
mean, I'm wondering if that's the ice house where well, this stuff, the good stuff is.
With
Yeah,
the
the-
good stuff.
There is. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly because I wrote it down. All right. So redivivus. The redivivus ice. Is that the good stuff?
Yes, I guess. But,
Yeah, the ice. The special ice.
yeah,
The
the
magical
special ice, magic ice.
That's probably not the ice house probably does not have brunch per se. It's not that kind of ice house. But it might have ice of the kind we were talking about. Brunch is probably more likely to be acquired from the square itself if that's what you desire. But what do you folks want to do?
Yeah, I think we should just head to the ice house first. I mean,
Yeah. As well.
we had some business there.
Sounds good to me.
All right. You're going to head around. And let's see. You're going to get on that road, on actually the sort of the path that sort of snakes around and out to the west. You come upon it, you see this bridge that you're heading toward, and you can see more and more people. They look kind of like miners, but they're bundled up, which is weird. Maybe. Or maybe not if they're mining ice.
Oh, the miners as in a mine, coal mine type.
Yeah, that kind of deal.
People who mine things.
Those who engage in abject minery. You're going to head that way. You're going to cross over the bridge. You see a number of folks walking back and forth. And let's see. Where do we have it here? There we go. Yeah, you see that you get up on this little rise that's near the ice house, and you see basically this big gray building with well, it sort of supports. Let me see. It'd be partially wood and partially brick, I would imagine. Sort of these sort of a big door, and people are walking in and out of. and people wearing kind of cold weather gear coming in and out. And you see it's like there are several people just sort of walking down over the rise down toward what looks like mine entrances. A couple of like mine or cavern entrances. Sort of in a rock face down there. And as you sort of come up to the ice house, you see there's this gentleman who's going to step out. And I feel as though I should draw a card.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Well, that's right. Yeah. You see them, I will say you do see them carrying, I need to keep in mind what's the epic times 10 thing. Yeah. You see there are folks that are sort of sitting there on sort of benches near the ice house, and they look kind of tired, some of the workers, and they're taking off their clothes because it's very warm out here, not so warm down in the caverns. You see someone is carrying someone on a stretcher. They're going to move past you as this gentleman steps out of the ice house. Someone who looks to have passed out. The card we have drawn here, let me let us gaze upon the card. That shall influence our immediate future. So this is card number 6. This is the unknowable truth.
What a great card to pull when you are investigating something.
Yeah. This is the best possible card. The best possible card to have when you are looking for information is the unknowable truth. This is an indigo card. So indigo is going to be up, gray is going to be down. Let me adjust the filters on the sun. There we go. The raven stands watch over the unknown. As we strive for understanding, the closer we get to the truth, the farther away it becomes. We know this to be true, but only after we've made the journey. The truth we learn is that we cannot actually know the truth. At the very heart of the secrets family, the unknowable truth is the ultimate secret, the secret that cannot be, by its very nature, learned. But still we try anyway. It is futile, and yet it is productive. Even when you climb an infinite mountain, you're still moving forward. In divination, when the unknowable truth card is revealed, it affirms and advocates for a conclusion. However, it indicates futility regarding a plan. Otherwise, it means that the answer requires more searching. Perhaps searching elsewhere.
Wow.
Well, saddle up, everyone. I think it's time to call it.
This gentleman is standing out, comes out, he's a big fellow, suspenders, sleeves rolled up, stepping out of the ice house. And, looks you all up and down as you're heading up. Ah, strangers. What can I do for you?
I think it's more about what we can do for you.
Well, you any good with a pick? He sort of looks down at the person being carried on a stretcher past you and over toward the bridge, and it's probably they're taking them somewhere in town.
Is that person going to be all right?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. It's a little rough lately.
Yeah, we heard about that, and that's why we arrived here. I'm sorry, what was the name of the gentleman who gave us those ice samples?
That was Goodman Jonas.
Goodman Jonas. Yeah, we actually met a man named Jonas.
Oh, yeah, Jonas. I know him.
Yeah, he mentioned that there was some trouble in this town. And,
Did he now?
yeah, and we said that we would look into it between brunches.
Between brunches.
It's very important.
What are y'all, Vizsla or something?
No. Yes.
Oh, I should have known.
I'm sorry, do you not eat brunch?
We got now time for brunch here.
Kind
We
of
got a simple
house
life.
is this?
We got best we can hope for is 3 squares a day.
But 2 meals a day seems even more simpler than 3 meals a day.
True.
Well, you partake as you partake. But, yeah. We got our times, we got our schedules. We got to rise and go to bed with the crops. Got to make the land work.
Crops. Sorry, are you growing things in?
Well, yeah, the other side. Yeah, no, not me personally, no. But for town to survive, we got to, we got this as a bit as a thing, but no, we got we got the cycle,
Well,
Here we're working extra shifts lately, but that's that's just recently.
yeah, it seems like some of your labor actually retired recently over to the quiet plots of land, and back there, as Mac gestures in the vague general direction of the cemeteries.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Yeah, we've been. It's. You try not to work them too hard if you can, but needs must.
Well, why do you need to do this exactly? Is it? It doesn't seem super lucrative.
And he just sort of looks at you quizzically. But we got to do it. It's what we do.
I mean, surely there are other things you could do too. Maybe that aren't as dangerous as this appears to be.
I'm not sure I understand.
Suddenly, I think I understand what you mean by simple folk.
We got. This is entirely what it's too important to the town.
What does the town use it for?
Oh, it's for Baylock.
Baylock.
Aye.
Who is Baylock?
His vision seems to kind of almost to glaze over for a second when you ask him that question. He says, it's for Baylock.
Is Baylock a person? Is Baylock something that you're trading this ice for? Is Baylock a place? I don't really understand.
I mean, it's But no, we give it to Baylock. It's for Baylock.
Okay, so what does this Baylock do with it?
And you can tell that he's actually having to take a second and I suppose goes and trades it, I guess. Keeps the town running.
Where can we go speak to this Baylock?
Sorry, it's I got no idea. I'll just work here.
Okay, well, who takes this stuff to Baylock then?
He sort of blinks for a second. We might have to ask some of the folks in town. It's you know, the mayor and them. They might know that.
Mayor.
Max sort of just looks up and then looks over at Chantal. Do you have a thing against mayors? It seemed a little bit of disgust in your tone there.
No, I mean, you know how it is being an apostate and with regulations and all that kind of thing. You know, governmental bodies and whatnot.
No, I don't know what it's like to be an apostate. That just seems weird. No offense to you two. I mean, I personally enjoy the free brunches that I get through the Order of Goetica.
I mean, I guess if you like that regimented lifestyle.
One moment. Just checking out something. We may have a technical issue real quick. I am seeing everyone moving, but are we having are we having trouble? Is anyone frozen right now?
Looks fine on my end.
Looks like Arras got disconnected from the Google.
Oh, okay. One second. Let me check the... Okay. Yeah, let me check the thing here. We are... Oh, we were almost there. Yeah. Yeah, that might do it. Let me just check the... Let me see if we can still be heard. Technical thingies. Alright. I actually, well, whilst Arras is reconnecting, I actually do have a question about I have a question for Anino. So this is completely out of character and just involves things that I believe was said to everyone, if I recall correctly.
Right.
Hopefully, God, I hope so. But I think so. Mac has just said that he doesn't know what it is like to be an apostate, and I'm just curious if there is any memory regarding that perhaps needs to be addressed with respect to
he literally he does not remember his life before the war.
Okay,
remember, like story-wise, what he admitted was that he came back, and he appeared in front of his home, and his home was on fire.
Yeah.
Like it was being torched by an unknown group of assailants, and lost everything. So he didn't even like have a,
So he has no memory of that stuff that he had.
Yeah. So that's why he thinks it's kind of weird, because it's like, I'm a goetic. I've always been a goetic.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Arras, can you hear us okay?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah. Are we
What
moving?
did I miss? Yes, you're moving now too.
Excellent. Cool. I was
Closed
just
some things
I was just
on my
figuring out a
computer
point of
and
history real quick. So you haven't. I don't think you've missed very much. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that yeah. Since you dropped, I think that's all we've been talking about. Okay.
Okay.
What were we doing? Oh, that's right. You were talking about. You were talking to this particular individual who works at the ice house. Was there anything else you wanted to do with this individual?
No, I think that he was surprisingly vaguely helpful.
Only vaguely. So okay.
Regimented. Not sure if I don't know what you mean by regimented, Chantino. I mean, other than the fact that I have brunch on a timely basis.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean by it. Everything timed out.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to for brunch, because you certainly can't go and have brunch at 3:00 in the afternoon. That's like
Sure, you can. Then you just have dinner at 1 in the morning.
assuming that the restaurants are all going to serve the.
Well, I mean, you don't need to go to a restaurant to have dinner.
Wait, what? Are you suggesting that people actually prepare their own food?
I mean, I have heard of it as a concept.
That can't be right.
As you're having this conversation, you see this this wagon trundling up, coming across the bridge, and you see that it is Goodman Jonas, who a little while back recruited you to come out here. And he's there. He's wearing his black suit, his top hat, 2 pairs of eyeglasses. And a big black wagon. And he will pull up sort of off to the side, and you see the gentleman you've been talking to waves, and you see Jonas is like, "Hey, man." And Jonas will sort of pull it up into an area. Just bringing it back. Right you are. And you see Jonas is kind of hopping down from the wagon. He recognizes you. For a moment. Actually, for a second, it takes him a second, though. He's sort of squinting as he hops down. He approaches, and he adjusts one set of his spectacles. He sort of steps forward. I know you, don't I?
I would hope so. You asked us for help.
I did, didn't I?
Yes.
Didn't I just
We
come to
actually-
Saturnine and on my annual trip to Saturnine?
That's right. And we took the train here.
Oh, how was your journey?
It was an experience.
I've heard it is. is there something we can do for you?
Well, your colleague over there mentioned a gentleman by the name, or a person by the name of Baylock, but
Right.
he couldn't quite tell us where to find this Baylock.
He's sort of blinking. Well, the ice is for Baylock.
Right, and we want to meet Baylock.
You can see he's having trouble. And he's sort of like... Can I tell you something? This is a little bit embarrassing.
Yes, you may, but it's not going to exclude us from laughing at you if you tell us something that seems a little interesting.
I can't for the life of me remember why I asked you here.
Now, that is strange. This is a point where 4 would really be useful.
Well, this is also the point at which we can actually close out if we like, because we're at the 2-hour mark if we so desire.
I just want to try one thing to see what happens.
Sure.
We just have a sudden premonition that if we stop right now, maybe our companions who are this will show
Maybe our
up.
companions will return suddenly. Maybe. I don't know.
This guy's name is Goodman, right?
Yeah, the title, yeah, this is Goodman Jonas.
Goodman Jonas.
Yeah, his title is Goodman, but yeah, go ahead.
Just walk up to Jonas and be like, so you do know that I'm Baylock, right? So that ice is mine, right?
Stand by.
Ooh.
We're not going to try to help these people. We're just like, screw you and your problems. Give us ice.
Well, if they can't say who Baylock is, can they say that I'm not?
Max stands back, crosses his arm across his chest, and goes, he looks very impressed right now.
So, it's like, well, I'm not really... I've been kind of taken out of the loop there, so I'm not sure. I think this is actually a thing where I may, we gotta see if, yeah, okay.
I guess we'll have to see what the cards say.
We're gonna have to see what the, well, I mean, this is a roll, really. To tell us if you're able to fool Goodman Jonas into thinking that you're Baylock.
Oh my.
So Jonas is level 6.
Okay.
And that is his current thing. He does have a bonus to withstand if you do something like that to him, but this is more just sort of convincing him, so I don't think it would be. So what do you want to use on him here?
Shoot, what do I have? Guess I can use stealth, right?
You're quietly announcing that you're Baylock.
Well, okay, maybe not. I don't know if any of these will apply. So I have see-through deception, which is not deception. I have
Not quite.
understanding people's motives, which might help, but I'm not sure. Researching, stealth, survival, and magical lore.
Actually, I don't think this may be one of those cases. I don't think any of those are really going to apply here. And the whole understanding his motive is. This is really more of a. Yeah, I mean, you are talking about getting him to take an action, and trying to sort of play into the motive of getting the ice to Baylock. So, I think we can use that. So that would knock it down to a 5.
Okay. Boy.
So it would be 5 or better if you go with that. Is there anything else you want to pull in, or just or are we just gonna leave it at that?
Could you use a bean from the interaction pool?
Yeah, you could use you could if he wants to use an interaction, Benny. Yeah,
Okay.
It can Mac assist by chiming in. I can't believe you would doubt Baylock right here. He's just going to go in on the deception too.
Excellent. So that should, if assuming my brain is remembering how this system works correctly, then that would knock it down to 3. 3 or better.
Okay. Let's see if I have anything. No, that doesn't work. Alright, I guess I'll just down to 4, so you said?
3 because
3,
Mac's helping.
okay.
And
So
if you're spending an interaction, Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it'll be down to 3 because you're doing that and Mac's helping. And then you've also got your understanding motives.
Okay, so what do I roll again?
Roll a d10, a single d10.
Oh, that's right, D10.
And that's a 2. So he just sort of looks at you uncertainly. Jonas is going to look at you uncertainly. He looks. He's like, "I'm sorry. I'm not really involved in that at this point. I was just bringing my wagon back in for that. I don't know. I've not seen Baylock myself, but you may want to. You should probably talk to. You should probably talk to the mayor or her staff. You should probably either talk to Mayor Tamby or her staff, Tambley, because that's. Yeah, I really am not involved in that. Sorry. I mean, I know I asked you here, but I'm not involved in that at all.
Okay.
Excuse me, I've got to.
Well, I think you should just load up this wagon with some of that ice, and we'll take it in town.
Sorry, it's not for me to say. It's for the mayor to say, and the mayor's the one who gives it to Baylock. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Good to see you all. You'll sort of turn and start heading away. And I think
You ever really feel like it's the blind leading the blind here? I mean, this really feels like Limerence Street all over again.
Hmm. Well. Maybe we should go talk to the mayor.
Well, yes, that does seem like the next logical step.
If we have to.
Okay, fine. We'll go see the mayor,
I mean,
but we'll see the mayor on our own time. Will that help?
Maybe.
I mean, I feel that if they serve 3 meals here, we could just eat a late breakfast, and that's basically the same thing as brunch, right?
Well, I mean, sure, but I feel that the benefit of having brunch is the fact that you can combine your favorite breakfast dishes with your favorite lunch dishes, and therefore you're basically getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Maybe if we look really sad, the cooks will make us lunch items early.
I suppose they'll just. I suppose they'll just consider their approach to obtaining brunch in this small village as they make their way over to the town square.
Good idea. It's a good idea. Could happen. It could totally happen. I see a potential brunch in your future. We'll have to see. We don't know. We don't know if it'll happen. We have to wait for the waveform to collapse and see if the brunch actually occurs, or if there is no brunch. It's Schrodinger's brunch, essentially, at this point. But in the meantime...
Schrodinger's brunch.
Schrodinger's brunch.
Schrodinger's brunch.
But for that, I think that we are... that will bring this session to a close. As you head once again back across the bridge townward, debating the various potentials for brunch. So we're going to go ahead and do our joy and despair for this session, where we figure out if we have any of either. Going to go ahead and go through our this is the regular order. So we're going to start with here. Do you think Shantano got a joy or a despair this session?
It's hard to say. I'm not sure if that memory from the post-war or pre-war memory would be a joy or a despair.
Yeah.
I want to say a joy.
Okay. Definitely, recovering a piece of yourself is always good. Always good. He's always good, he says. Okay, maybe not. But, yeah, that's good. Cool. And, Arras, do we think Aroshka got a joy or a despair this session?
I kind of don't think so. I have like 4 joy and 0 despair, so I'm kind of like sort of trying to find things that are despair, but other than sort of being vaguely worried about Isabel getting in more trouble while we're gone, not really. I don't think so.
No, we gotta get Aroshka into more despairing situations. We gotta.
Aroshka's been too happy.
Too much happiness. Need to make Aroshka more miserable. We'll focus on that. See, get that misery that pendulum to swing back toward misery again. I'm sure we can do it. I'm sure.
Like in
I'm sorry.
Like in retrospect, I'm like, I feel like maybe there could have been a little bit of despair with the little, evil head Aroshka peeking up when I made the deal with the mushrooms, but I'm like, I don't feel like it was quite enough.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be just fine.
I don't know. Yeah. The evil version of me that lives in my brain.
Perhaps. could just be a memory. It might not even be anything. Just,
But no, I don't feel like anything too far in either direction happened in this episode.
Okay. Cool. And then, Anino, do we think Mac got a joy or a despair this session?
No, I don't think he was frustrated enough to have gotten despair.
Only mildly annoyed the fact that I didn't do this.
I don't think he really accomplished anything because he didn't do any goetic stuff. So
That's fair. Okay. All right, no worries. Okay, well that brings us round here, and we're gonna go ahead then, and we're gonna do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to plug whatever you like, and give any thoughts you had about this, any final thoughts you had about this session, favorite moments or what have you. And we will start with Anino.
how's it going, everyone? You can follow me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. I'll be appearing tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Utopia channel for the 1-year anniversary of the launching of said channel. We'll be doing an AMA for the first campaign being streamed on the channel, which is Kahania, which should include everybody in the cast from both seasons 1 and 2. So feel free to tune in for that. There'll be a lot of fun discussions and wisecracks. So
Very cool. Any final thoughts about the session?
yes, I like how nobody seems to be able to remember anything about anyone or
Is that a good thing?
even what's going on in the present. It's a Memento on steroids.
I mean, fair. It's very fair.
I like it, but trying to interview people for information is very frustrating.
No, that's understandable. No, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. But then, yeah, no, I can understand. I understand. The memories will come. The memories will come. I'm quite sure of it. But now let us head over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras. I'm Animus Panthera or Animus.Panthera practically everywhere. The only place you can watch me playing games right now is right here on Saturdays at 7, playing Visible Sun. Well, 7 my time. I don't know what time it is everywhere else. I don't have a whole lot going on right now on account of because I am currently a master's student finishing up my master's project, so I'm spending most of my time staring at a computer, but I am a real-life zoologist. I love talking about animals on the internet, so if you have any questions, feel free to throw those at me. I love playing games, cosplay, all that stuff is great. About this session, this is kind of a weird session. It was a little quiet for us, honestly. I'm looking forward to our difficult brunch experience here in this town. The brunch enthusiasts determined to have brunch in a town that does not understand the concept of brunch.
Challenge accepted.
A mighty challenge indeed.
I'm also sort of excited about the prospect of that angel going home and like bureaucratically Googling us. Wait a second, who are these people? Like, oh, you don't want to know.
I can't wait. It's gonna happen sooner or later. We're gonna have to have a cutaway scene. When it
I just
happens.
love somebody warning us about somebody else being dangerous. It's like, I mean, Shantano's dating murder. I think we're good.
Who are you even talking to? That's a good point. Also, yeah. Fair point. It's a very fair point. And speaking of Chantineau, let us head over to Wilde.
Yes. Hello, I'm Wilde, engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Besides from here, you can catch me on Ava Saric's channel tomorrow for some Vason, where I am playing a servant type to my own lord. And yeah, I'm just gonna have to punch my way out of everything, so that's a thing. Today was definitely interesting. Found out a lot more about Chantineau than I was expecting to. I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot that he's a tragic character. Yeah, overall fun. It was fun trying to convince everyone that I was indeed this apparent owner of everything in Yestervale. Too bad it failed. Perhaps I can convince the mayor. But yeah, overall, it was a fun episode.
Very cool. I loved that. It's like, yeah. Do they know what Paylock looks like? I don't know. Very cool. Excellent. We'll see what comes of this. We'll see. But in the meantime, who am I? I have no freaking clue. But the human I'm currently masquerading as is Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On Tuesday night, we're hopefully, with any luck, we're going to be continuing our playtest of Genesis Undone. That is a GM-less story game that I wrote about the dawn of a fantasy. I say fantasy. Well, give it one moment. But the dawn of a fantastical civilization. The tale of that as told as though it were a Greek or Shakespearean type tragedy. And we decided that we are robots on Mars quite suddenly, and so I'm excited to see how that goes. On Wednesday nights, we have our Scum and Villainy campaign, Untitled Space Game, and it's which has been a lot of fun. We landed to find a ship. We found the wreck of a ship, and we were going to go and plunder it, and then someone beat us to it, and we are now having to chase those people. So we're going to see if that goes at all well. And then, of course, back around to Saturdays when we have more of this, and so that shall be happening. Also, by the way, before Saturday, now that I'm thinking about it, should have even put this on the calendar here. That Friday. The day before Friday, commonly the day before Saturday on most calendars, I will be guesting over on Wandering DM, playing a broken down ex-journalist. Perhaps does some journalism on the side every now and then. In their game of Cyberpunk Red, is just sort of doing a little guest spot. To find out what the freaking deal is with the Justice Mime, because apparently the Justice Mime has struck again, and very interesting to see what happens. I think so. I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's going to be over on the Wandering DM channel Friday evening, with any luck, provided everything holds together. No sign-ups at this point right now. It's we've completed our sign-ups for one-shots of inspectors. I'm in the process of casting those. That'll take a little while, but those will start happening around mid-July. That's this month. Yes, mid-July. And probably I'm not going to. I'm probably only going to stream one of them, I think, at this point, because like I said, various things, mental health. I kind of I gotta. Just sort of decide what I want to take on and what I don't. We'll at least stream one of them, I think. But just kind of, otherwise, it was mostly for just sort of figuring out, like, how much of this do I want to do off stream? Do I want to do on stream? There's a bunch of brain things involved, and not to worry about that right now. But I'm very much looking forward to getting into those and playing, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. But at this point, we are going to be sending a raid over to, let me see, Weave the Tail is actually doing a game based on Fallout, using the 2D20 system. So there are a couple of folks there that I recognize, so we're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.